foundation move forward before they move into this new stadium and having a product that everybody can be proud of, you go make this move. We watched the New York Giants in real time go get their guy, offer him an insane deal of $20 million a year, and on top of that, pretty much reshifted the structure of the front office communication line. John Harbaugh is not communicating with Joe Schoen directly. He goes to ownership. Like, these types of things can be negotiated, and I think that's what Robert Saleh needs to be. And I will say needs to be when it comes down to him getting this job right now, is he should be able to do what he wants to, especially if everybody in the building is on board with this.
Well, what are you willing to offer Mike McDaniel then?
Mike McDaniel, one of the highest paid OCs, security of the job. And here's the other part, too, I think that needs to be spoken when we're looking at this job. Hey, sir, you will get time here. You will get resources here. You will have the ability to have the lay of the land when it comes down to your ability to flourish as a coach. Who you want, we'll go get, because here's the thing we know about the NFL. Here's the thing we know about the NFL. Not a single team, listeners, even if you're listening to the Tennessee Titans, not a single team has lost $1. The returns will be there. If you put a product out there that everybody's hype about, that product is going to return to you tenfold. Selling PSLs, light work. Making that stadium your own homegrown, light work. Like, there is a star value, I think, that goes along with this. And if you're serious about going to get your dudes, and here's the other part, too. Like, if you love and trust Jeff and specifically Cam.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah. And I'll put Jeff first because Jeff is at that point where age is, it's not a conversation, but he's older. Get that man into a position where he's really competing again. Like, they went to the AFC Championship once. Like, make it Philly to Fletcher Cox is the way I look at it. They were down bad, and next thing you know, Fletcher Cox gets a ring there. That's one of Jeffrey Simmons, the guys that he pieces his career after. Try to follow that, man. Sometimes you got to be brash about what you want in the sport, especially in the NFL.
615-737-1045. Hayes is in Kentucky this morning. What's up, Hayes?
Morning, Hayes.
Hey, good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We got you.
Good deal. Hey, I just first want to start out by praising the front office, man. I think this hire is going to be great for us. I mean, we've got a young guy who's ambitious, who's a lot of parallels with Rabel, just a player's coach, hard-nosed kind of guy. Really excited to see that. But I'd also argue that this job is kind of half done. Because I think we both all agree that, the success of the Titans largely is going to probably come through Cam Ward and our franchise quarterback now. And so we really got to find the right OC to develop him, get him that big year 2 launch. And with this history that you guys are talking about with McDaniels and Salah, I really, man, think that Mike Bergonzi in the front office has got to bug up and say, this is the guy we want. We got to go get him. Let's make him the highest paid coach in the NFL, or offensive coordinator in the NFL, and keep him. And Mike Bergonzi's got to be clear with them, like, hey, we will be patient. You have my word here. And he's got to be a voice to Amy to say, look, this is a guy, I trust him. I know ball because I believe he does, and I trust Bergonzi, but this is going to be a critical component to what we're going to do the next 3, 4, 5 years.
No doubt.
I like it, Hayes. Appreciate the call.
Appreciate the call, Hayes in Kentucky.
If you paired up Mike McDaniel as OC with Robert Saleh as head coach, how would that compare to hiring John Harbaugh?
How would that? I think almost a 1-to-1. To be quite honest, I mean, it's a 2-for-1, but I feel like you have to do that. There's a perception that John Harbaugh is going to get it right. I think when you look at the way this needs to be pieced up with a guy who's a head coach, now defensive head coach, and Robert Saleh, you got 2 on one staff. I think that equates. I know neither one of them's got a Super Bowl at this point, but that equates in my mind.
I think it is the next best thing that you could have done if you can go get McDaniel.
Right.
The only reason I'd say it's not a slam dunk better is because you have no guarantee how long McDaniel would be here. Again, we're dealing in hypotheticals of things we don't even know are on the table. But there is a lot to like about that opportunity on paper. And bringing in an offensive coordinator who helped Tagovailoa throw for 4,500 yards as the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins in the one season that he was totally healthy there, with a guy that he has worked with since they were in their 20s together.
Yeah.
And Saleh was an intern for the Houston Texans and went to Gary Kubiak's press conference to try to get a job. We'll get more into that story later in the show. We're going to do more about that at 8:20 when we talk about Robert Saleh's network. But Robert Saleh went to his new coach's press conference because his internship with the Texans was about to end, and he wanted to stick around. He did not want to go with the staff that was leaving, and literally went to the press conference to introduce himself.
Wow. Man's ambitious, man.
It's the kind of work ethic you are getting, I think, with someone that is wired the right way to do this job. At least from everything that we've read and seen. We'll see if he can do it here. Kendall's in Nashville up next. What's up, Kendall?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning, Kendall.
Man, I'm excited about the hire. It's actually a double excitement. My cousin, he lives in California. He's a San Fran fan, and he's so angry. He just knew Saleh was going to stick around. So I'm glad to rub that in his face because he was like, there's no way he's going to the Titans because the big media teams, they hate on us. I don't know why, but it's all right. I will say with new coaches coming in, does this change anything with Levis, or is he going to just be a backup, or are they probably going to trade him? Just wanted to get you guys' opinion on that. I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll listen.
Same to you, Kendall.
Thank you, Kendall. What do you think?
The answer that Mike Bergans, he's under roster.
Under contract.
Under contract, yeah. I can't give an answer on Levis because I think you got to have backups.
Yeah.
They can't devalue him either by saying, well, we're going to trade him,
I don't think it changes anything.
I don't either, Kendall. Cam's your future. Like, that's what you're worried about. And at this point, I don't think Will Levis is a threat to Cam Ward at all.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing.
Ashton is in Goodlettsville up next on the phone lines. What's up, Ashton?
Morning, Ashton.
What's up, guys? Listen, I think anybody who's excited about this Robert Saleh hire is just the same people who are excited about the Brian Callahan hire. This is an absolute ridiculous joke. You want to pair a guy who Aaron Rodgers, after an MVP season, was like, please get this man away from me. Get him away from me as far as you can.
Did that happen?
And then they fired him. And then he was gone. And then now we got Cam Ward. After the Marcus Mariota thing happened, we had Mike Vrabel with him for years. OC after OC after OC. And if they were bad, they got fired. If they were good, they got hired by another team like Arthur Smith. And it just didn't work out. And now where's Marcus Mariota? I'm not willing to throw away another franchise QB for Robert Saleh because all these fans who are happy about Brian Callahan really couldn't stand Matt Nagy because he lost the room in Chicago because the fan base in Chicago wanted him to start a rookie Justin Fields. Nobody understands anything in this league. And now I can't trust my GM because only my GM listens to his fans. It's a joke, man.
Ashton, how do you know that Aaron Rodgers wanted Robert Saleh gone? That's not been reported anywhere.
You guys don't remember the fight on the sideline?
Ashton, I remember. I also know what both sides have said about it. They had a pretty good relationship.
Aaron Rodgers was dodging and ducking the media. He didn't want to talk about it. Nobody remembers anything from that. He wanted him gone. This was after an MVP season. He couldn't figure it out. You guys said earlier he couldn't figure it out with the QB and the OCs. That was Saleh's problem.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
20 and 36.
That's it. With a rookie QB going into his second year, and you're not taking somebody who was just in two Super Bowls with Andy Reid.
Ashton, who did you want instead?
I'm very, very, very emotional.
Who did you want instead?
Matt Nagy, the guy who was just in two Super Bowls, who took Mitchell Trubisky to the playoffs twice, who went up against Aaron Rodgers in an MVP season 2 times, and an 11-5 Colts, and 11-5 Titans, and 11-5 Saints, and a 12-4 Bucks. He went up against all those teams, still took Mitchell Trubisky to the playoffs. It's like nobody gets that. This guy was just around Patrick Mahomes for 2 years. You don't want this guy with Cam Ward, a second-year QB who's already shown in tremendous talent. My only hope is, we get Mike McDaniel, but then what? He's good for 2 years, gets hired by somewhere else to be a head coach. Yep. Then we get another one. Maybe he's bad. He gets fired. My only hope is that Cam Ward can hang on to his talent and just hang on by changing scheme after scheme after scheme because the defensive coach isn't going to do nothing for him.
Thank you for the call, Ashton.
Bro, Ashton came in hot.
I like the passion.
I love the passion.
I don't know if I do.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
All right, we're gonna do this together. Here we go. We're gonna breathe in through our nose. We're gonna exhale through our mouths. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that felt good. Okay, awesome. Ashton, you're welcome to join us.
We need Ashton's side though, because I'm gonna be real with you. That Ashton kind of cooked for the other side. We need.
You think you made good points?
I mean, we just need to hear it. That's all. Ashton has a point to be made. That's all it is. We needed to hear it. We needed to hear it.
615-737-1045 is our number. We're live for the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. We'll do a deep dive into Robert Saleh's resume when we come back. We will talk about what didn't work in New York. Meetings that happened between Saleh and team brass in late September before his firing in October. What Aaron Rodgers has said on the record about Robert Saleh and their relationship. What did and didn't work from his time in the Big Apple coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Jewel Roofing and Exteriors. Good people, I'm here to tell you about my good friends over there, man. Robbie Van Norman owns it, man. He's here in town. He's a local, man. I promise you guys, you want to do business with them at Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, man. They are a family-owned Middle Tennessee company that's been serving from Clarksville to Murfreesboro for over 25 years, man. They stand up by building relationships and earning trust through referrals, never through high-pressure tactics, door knocking, or storm chasing. Speaking of storm chasing, this weekend, I think even tomorrow, I'm not a meteorologist, anything like that, but we're supposed to get a lot of snow, and that's a lot of weight on top of your roofs. And what I'm telling you is this, it can cause problems, especially when it starts to melt. And I think I'm going to get this terminology right. The ice jams, yeah, water can get behind those when it starts to melt and cause issues on top of your roof. Listen, if you do have those issues, because I personally had that issue, you want to reach out to Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, man. They're just good. As I told you before, they don't do the door knocking and storm chasing at all, but I will tell you this, I'm recommending them to you personally because I think they're really good at what they do. You can call them at 615-868-9999 or visit their website at jewelroofing.com. That's jewelroofing with 2 L's.com.
Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, talking a lot of Titans with you this morning as the team has reportedly landed on Robert Saleh to be the next head coach. So Robert Saleh, Ramon, was the head coach of the New York Jets for 3+ seasons. Struggles on offense, was forced to change offensive coordinators after the 2022 season from Mike LaFleur, who he met as a grad assistant at Central Michigan in 2004, to Nathaniel Hackett in 2022. The Jets traded for Aaron Rodgers after missing nearly the entire 2023 season with a torn Achilles. Did not elevate that offense in 2024 under Hackett's leadership. And his .357 winning percentage ranks as the worst in Jets franchise history among coaches with a minimum of 40 games at the helm. A lot to sort through. There are some positive success stories, I think, that come out of his time in New York as well. What stands out to you, Ramon, about Robert Saleh's tenure in New York? And let's start with the concerns and negatives out of it. What negatives stand out about Robert Saleh's 20-36 record as the head coach of the New York Jets?
Not being able to hit on the offense that worked efficiently week in and week out. Whatever the relationship was with Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson also playing a part in it too. Like, you have a top 5, top 10 quarterback that you were drafted. And that didn't, as far as his ability to pick the right OC, didn't work also. That concerns me. That amount of losing, how do you not go back down that alley again? Is it because you weren't calling the defense? As far as stats go or numbers go, his defense numbers were bad year 1, year 2, but he also wasn't the play caller. Is this why you taking over as a play caller too? Can you balance that? I think that plays a part in it too, Will. And it was just an embarrassment. Like, people grow, people learn. I'm all for, and I've said this time and time again, the NFL is full of second chances, from players getting arrested to coaches being fired. You get second chances. How will he maximize this and not repeat what he did? The amount of control also will. I think this time around, you can't young boy him anymore. I think he got bullied into it either by Jets front office or management.
Woody Johnson, the owner?
You're going to do this. You're going to do this. Like, I personally have a problem with front office, and if our front offices involving themselves into on-field issues. My thing is, you hire and you ask a coach to do a job. You allow that coach to do that job. If it's not good enough, cool, blame him. But don't make it a bigger issue by saying, I want to go get this guy. Like, they gave the world to go get Aaron Rodgers, which may not have been a part of the plan. Like, to me, there was no opportunity for real growth with the Jets. That's the issue that I have. I say this, and I don't know Robert Saleh, and I don't know how this relationship will be with him. But I'm hoping this time around, with him being more seasoned and more proven on his side of the ball, that he doesn't become a puppet. Right? Is that fair? Like, no.
Certainly fair.
And especially if this is a 5-year deal, which has been reported, if this team still has a lot of growth to be had, control the field. Like, you and Mike Berganzi's relationship has to be, like, tight. I'm talking about like two fat guys in a V-dub Beetle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it needs to be that tight.
A V-dub Beetle, okay.
I'm serious. Like, that's the first image I had in my mind.
Okay.
Like, I want to use peas in a pod, but now two fat dudes in an old school Beetle. Like, it needs to be that tight. What do you need and how do you need it to look? Like, don't get bullied into not being a good coach.
Well, and two, I think that some of the stuff around Saleh and Aaron Rodgers is interesting because he really worked hard to not get bullied by Aaron Rodgers. He fined Aaron Rodgers for taking a vacation to Egypt during mandatory minicamp. Publicly, both of them have denied any kind of friction within their relationship. And Aaron Rodgers went out of his way after Robert Saleh was fired in New York to say, I had nothing to do with this. Whether or not that's true, who knows? Again, we're not there. We don't have the truth serum to understand exactly what happened there. But I'm not really worried about Aaron Rodgers and Robert Saleh's relationship because I think Aaron Rodgers is kind of a one of one. Fair?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Like, I don't really care that Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers failed to work together. Aaron Rodgers is his own kind of cup of tea and his own guy, and he has nothing really to do with Cam Ward. I'm more interested in why did Zach Wilson not improve and what did he show you in the draft process to warrant the number 2 overall pick in 2021 and what didn't work for him after he got there. That's not necessarily a Robert Saleh problem. I do think it is a question for Robert Saleh. Yeah. What did you learn from that experience and the quarterback development that didn't happen with Zach Wilson? And the Jets weren't the only team that liked Zach Wilson in 2021. He certainly rose quickly as a draft prospect, and it was Trevor Lawrence 1, Zach Wilson 2, and then everybody else. And granted, like, general managers can get the quarterback evaluation wrong in the draft process. Robert Saleh's old boss in San Francisco, he drafted Trey Lance with the next pick. We think John Lynch isn't a good general manager? Absolutely not. So it's unfair to say that quarterback lack of development or decision totally defines Robert Saleh's tenure in New York. He gets the chance to answer for that. He gets the chance to say, here's what didn't work, here's what I do differently. And I do think that is what is important for where the Titans are today. Having someone who's gone through that lesson, gone through that experience as a head coach and learned what didn't work before, what will I do differently, clearly was important for them in this process.
I will say this. He needs to be a jerk, Will, about what he wants on his roster. I'll start there first because I'm looking at this 2021 season, his introduction as a head coach into the NFL. I was just like, well, why didn't Zach Wilson work? What was around him? They had an all-pro, Braxton Berrios, as a kick returner. Okay? On that roster, just going back to Elijah Moore, hadn't grown up. Corey Davis, we know.
Which year are you talking about?
This is 21. Just looking at that first year and why it went so bad. I mentioned Braxton Berrios. He was a kick returner. Keelan Cole, can we say much about that? Jamison Crowder, much about that. Denzel Mims, young guy at the time, not really what he is now in Denver. And you keep going down the list. Tyler Croft at tight end. And then you go to the running backs that support Micah Carter, Todd Johnson, Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, they had Breece Hall the next year in 2022.
But you see what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like Coach Saleh and Mike Bergonzi have to be lock and step. Mm-hmm. They got to be tight. What do you need? And as much as we going to talk about Saleh as a coach, I will bang on the desk again. The X's and O's is fine. I love watching tape and playing the game and the schematics. Will, you got to go get some talent. And you also got to give that talent time to grow up.
Well, again, Breece Hall, the top running back in the free agent market, played for Robert Saleh for the New York Jets in 2022 and 2023. Sign me up. You know how I feel about Breece Hall and this team.
Absolutely.
The success story for Robert Saleh on defense in New York is that defense was really good when he was there and in charge of it. The second he was fired, it went downhill quickly. In 2022, his defense was 4th in total yards allowed, despite the offense not giving them much of anything. In 23, Robert Saleh's Jets defense improved to 3rd in the NFL in yards allowed. In his 5 games coaching in 2024 before he was fired, with a 2-3 record that season, his unit was ranked 2nd in the NFL in total yards allowed. When he left, they were 18th the rest of 2024. And in 2025, the New York Jets became the first team in a generation of NFL football to not have an interception the entire season. That is what they were this past year. Overall, the Jets defense that was 2nd in the NFL in yardage allowed while Robert Saleh was there in 2024, this season with Aaron Glenn as the new head coach of the New York Jets, they were 25th in yards allowed and 31st in scoring defense. 615-737-1045. Eric is in North Carolina up next.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Good, how are you? Eric, good morning.
Good morning, good people. Man, I think this is it was a lot. Ashton was the last caller. I took a deep breath with you, Will.
Thank you.
Just slow down and take a deep breath. I took a deep breath right when you said it. I was like, wow. I just think you it was hiring Nagy. I just felt like it was too much. It would have been too much of a buddy move, in my opinion. I just felt like it would have. And then, listening to, looking at Twitter the last 3 or 4 days and how the Titans fans was reacting, I'm just like, yo, this seems like they listening to us, like, because I seen Matt Nagy being pushed, and then all of a sudden, the interview got moved up and ended up happening. So I'm excited, still optimistic because, it seemed like yesterday when everybody's pushing for Snead, pushing trade, do it, Amy, do it. And then, we get Snead, and I know different GM, but you get Snead, and then this is what, injuries happen and, not being available. So you just got to see how it works out. I do know one thing. We got to get a solid offensive coordinator, but I hadn't been excited about our kicking game in I don't know how long, and return game. And you got to find a way to keep Bones. You got to find a way. I don't know how that's going to work out, but Bones and this punt return, kick return, this game, that's going to be another huge way for, building the culture and keeping that going, being great in all three phases for the first time. Like, I want that consistency. So having Bones will help that. And I'll hang up and listen and let y'all I hope you have a great day, man. And I'm excited for a new chapter.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for the call. You think Bones Fossil has a good chance of being retained, Ramon?
He does, especially if you go get an OC that has head coach experience too. Like, you got essentially 3 head coaches on this team. It's the way I would look at that with Bones Fossil being a part of it. I think he's earned that. His reputation is huge. Immediately, just one of the more respected guys I know in the NFL as far as special team coach, Danny Smith. Immediately when the Steelers said that he was, the whole staff was available, Tampa called him in like ASAP. Those special team coaches mean more than I think fans realize. And Eric from North Carolina has a great point on that one.
In a funny way, Robert Saleh had a lot of the same background and role in San Francisco that Matt Nagy had for Andy Reid in Kansas City. Saleh was quoted at ESPN.com back in December saying, "Being the head coach is lonely. I try not to be too invasive, but just being a helping hand when Kyle Shanahan needs me. I can kind of feel when he feels like he has the world on his shoulders, when he's got the entire organization on his back, and he just kind of needs a buddy to hang out with at lunch." Talked about to ESPN.com as the offseason program progressed. He had a king of strain during offseason workouts, and that was his word for a young defense in San Francisco. Strain, straining extra, doing more in the offseason program. You win a T-shirt as the king of strains. So maybe the offseason program the Titans had this past offseason will just have a little bit of a different branding to it this time around. It was achieved by accumulating points from things such as how many one-on-one snaps you can win, weightlifting reps relative to body weight, attempts to rake the ball away in practice, linebackers executing peanut punches. I don't need to go back and tell you the Titans' history in the peanut punch. You already know it. And anything that involves playing through the echo of the whistle. I like the sound of that.
That's something I'm pretty sure my young athletes, everybody can play, but where do you strain? Because that to me is the difference between last night national championship game, 4th and 6 for Indiana, and Fernando Mendoza runs it in on a quarterback draw. Like, that's the strain you're looking for. Straining in football specifically to me is not giving up a 3rd and 1 and getting off the field. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody can play, and I think that's the difference to the teams that have it well and the teams that don't, man, because that strain that Robert Saleh and his crew speak of, that's the mental side of the game.
And that was a piece from Nick Wagner written on December 22nd. Written at ESPN.com, has 49ers coach Robert Saleh rebounded back into head coach talks, was the piece about it. And talking about how Saleh was the favorite in Jacksonville last season. He was also offered a historically lucrative contract to be the defensive coordinator and coach in waiting of the Las Vegas Raiders. And about how patient he was going to be for the right job. Saying everyone wants to be at the top of their profession, Saleh told ESPN in December, and they want to succeed at that just to see how far they can go and what they can achieve. Is my desire to get to the top of the profession and host the Lombardi one day? Absolutely. Am I in a hurry? No, I love it here. Obviously, the desire is there, but at the same time, it's not desperation. Robert Saleh wanted this job. And clearly there's something about this job, and there are many different elements that I imagine were appealing to him, and I'm looking forward to asking him if we get the chance to talk to him soon.
No doubt.
But clearly, Ramon, a guy that wasn't in a rush to be a head coach again, signed up for this job and is going to be a head coach again in Tennessee. That should excite you as Titans fans.
Sure. You were wanted. I know the narratives where the Titans struck out, whether they wanted the other dudes that signed at other places, Stefanski or Harbaugh or whoever else signed before then. Like what I said and we talked about before, you need somebody that wants you and not just wants you for the check and understand what they're getting themselves into. It's the other side of it for me too. Is you know exactly what this is. Heck, Robert Saleh and the Titans played each other this year too, correct? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't the 49ers on staff?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Am I reading your mind?
You are reading my mind.
Yes.
Coming up next, what Robert Saleh said about Cam Ward before the 49ers played the Titans. You'll hear that next.
Guys and ladies, man, it's time to get real about your health this year with Synergex and Low T Center. For a limited time, I've told you before, the men's TRT test is free. Yes, we love free, okay? And the women's hormone test is normally $299. Well, it's just $99. And the weight loss consultation is also free too, man. What I'm telling you is this, man. In today's AI world, you can't even trust your own eyes. We got to stop and ask, what is real? Well, you know what is real? Your health. And the experts at Synergex and Low T Center what they can do to change your life, man. If you've been suffering from the symptoms of low testosterone, such as constant tiredness, lack of focus, or that feeling of just feeling off, Synergex and Low T Center can meet with the real provider, not a chatbot on the website. You can get real medication, never compounded testosterone or hormones. You can get real pricing, not a surprise when your bill comes from a website. What I'm telling you is this, man. I always tell you, we are overly concerned about how we look on the outside. Get checked out what's going on the inside of you also. Synergex and Low T Center have the remedies for you right now, man. Again, you can walk in or book an appointment at getmyhealthfix.com. That is, again, getmyhealthfix.com. And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Wrapping up the first half of the show this morning on Ramon and Will. Open for your phone calls. 615-737-1045. How you jump in. Let's hear from Robert Saleh. Titans fans who haven't heard him speak yet, this is your new head coach. According to multiple reports. Our topic of the day this morning, of course. What Robert Saleh had to say about Cam Ward before the 49ers played the Titans. Here you go.
That about Cam Ward's game and scouting him. Have you seen improvement throughout the year, what he's been able to do?
For sure. He's improved significantly throughout the year. He's, earlier in the year, obviously his numbers weren't great, but I think his numbers have improved week in and week out. Uber talented, can make every throw. They do a really nice job. It's they've been in a lot of football games and they've kind of let it slip away there in the fourth quarter. But overall, I think offensively they've been moving in the right direction. They do a lot of really good things. And the quarterback, just speaking of him, he's got a lot to him.
There's Robert Saleh. Talk about Cam Ward.
Yeah, real quick coach speak on him.
Yeah,
he ain't give too
crazy.
much on him. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm interested to see what their relationship turns into. I just reached out to a good friend of mine that played for the Jets and also covered him too. Just asking him about Saleh and just, the stereotypes about him and everything else. He was like, scheme-wise, great, solid. He's a nice guy, maybe too nice. Is what he said. Guys in New York played for him, but he also added the quarterback situation is a nightmare, or was a nightmare. He corrected that too. Never lost the locker room. Said the front office just kind of grew thin, which is why I said this next lap around the sun for him as far as his head coaching career goes, put your foot down, but have your plan in place and have somebody inside of that building, Mike Bergonzi, Chad Brinker, whoever it is, that wants to walk that pathway with you.
Let's go back to the phones. Kevin is in Clarksville up next. Good morning, Kevin.
I'm just letting you know that. There's a gas station.
Kevin, you're on.
Station. Kevin Mackin.
All right, we're not going to eavesdrop on whoever Kevin's talking to.
Kevin was Mackin.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go to Mike in the borough up next. Hey, Mike. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
What's going on?
Hey, Ashton, I get his frustration and his disdain for the fact that Saleh got hired, but he needs to calm down and think about the fact that Saleh is just the head coach. What we need to get right for Cam is his OC and his quarterbacks coach. The staff under Saleh is going to be what develops Cam, and there's still hope for that. He needs to understand that it's not all about Saleh. I mean, Saleh needs to have a relationship with Cam, but what's really going to bring Cam to greatness is the synergy of the offensive staff and getting the right people to support Cam on the field and off the field.
Agreed. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the call.
No doubt about it. That secondarily, after getting the coach that you want, that does become priority number one in it. I say that, but just Cam understanding and making sure he don't fail. He's already had one rookie quarterback, Robert Saleh has. I ain't gonna say fail because he's still in the league, but it didn't work out for you to be a number 2 overall pick. That's a red flag, Will. You know what I'm saying? Whether that was him, his coaching staffs, the OCs that ruined him, or the head coach that said, no, I love the guy that go and, sleeps in a den at nighttime in the offseason. Like, as far as Aaron Rodgers, I joke about this stuff, but legitimately, there's a lot of involvement we are hearing that happen in New York, and that's where Robert Saleh has to be better and more seasoned this time around. I agree with him, though.
Do we have Kevin?
Yes, I had to yell at him in the phone.
Oh, it's okay. Kevin, you got us now.
Come on, Kevin.
My bad, fellas. Good morning. How we doing?
No worries at all. Good morning.
I hope it went well for you, Kevin.
It did. I ain't get fired today, so I'm good.
That's a good thing.
Hey, I just want to talk about, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy. I was happy with either way, with either one of them, but I would have been more happy with Sean McDermott, but I know that was a long shot for us, like all the other coaches we missed on. So you got to take what you get, and this guy, to me, is not a bad decision or whatever. I think most of the fans that are saying that they're mad because we didn't get an offensive-minded head coach are the same fans that are mad that we didn't keep Mike Vrabel. And what is Mike Vrabel? He's a defensive coach. So You got to make up your mind. You got to pick your poison, which one you want. Don't be mad because we had a guy that you didn't like or whatever. So all this hoorah, mad because we didn't get an offensive man guy to help Cam Ward. We can still do that with an offense coordinator.
This is true.
Like I said, Nagy didn't call the plays down there in KC, and we went through that with Brian Callahan. We ain't trying to do that again. So, hey, I'll hang up and listen to the rest of you guys' conversation. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate the call. At the end of the day, we just don't know. We don't know. And I think Easton Freeze laid that out really well yesterday when he was on the show, that the truth of how we should feel about coaching hires the day they're made is somewhere between, skeptical.
No, seriously.
And understandable, right? Like this is not something that is easy to have a strong opinion about, because different situations require different kinds of leadership.
Oh.
Different quarterbacks can raise the ceiling of who a coach and his staff can be. He had Zach Wilson last time. He's going to have Cam Ward this time. Those two are a little bit different.
I'm glad you kind of say that. Not that you're trying to temper the expectation, but I do think that's like the different phases of healing that everybody's about to go through right now. Okay, you got your guy. We're in the excitement, like, honeymoon stage right now. Here's the thing about it. Like, there's so many different moves and hurt that you got to get past. Like, OTAs is going to look beautiful. Minicamp is going to be phenomenal. Training camp is going to be everything that you want it to be. It's a long 8.5 months that we all got to deal with before we see the real product out there. And even more so the first month of the season. How is that adjustment? What does the team structure look like? How is he as a head coach, as a play caller? Your point of tempering expectations, Will, is as real as anybody need to be when being this hopeful about what Robert Saleh can be. That to me is the most important part. Whatever your expectations are, just bring them down. If he surprised you, even better, because as somebody said earlier, when I asked you earlier, when was the last time everybody was this excited? You said Brian Callahan.
Yeah.
And you were right.
This is an easy day to feel excited. And I am not here to temper any of that. I think fans should be excited. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I think this is a good hire. I think there are certainly worse options that are out there, and I think it's a better move than what Matt Nagy would have been.
Mm-hmm.
The reality of the situation is all of these guys have green flags and red flags. How do they adapt to their new situation?
Mm-hmm.
And what do they do with Cam Ward? And who's on their staff? There's a lot we don't know yet. Going to find out soon. 615-737-1045. Go to Adrian and John on the phones. Plus, if you missed it earlier this morning, there is a San Francisco 49ers offensive player that said something about Robert Saleh to Mike Silver of The Athletic that really stood out to me earlier this season as a positive in his favor. And we'll talk about that coming up next.
8 o'clock, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans, per multiple sources, are finalizing a deal to make 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh their next head coach. It'll be a 5-year deal. Saleh spent Monday with the Titans in their facility. The two sides impressed each other enough to move forward together, and now Saleh becomes the franchise's 7th head coach since moving to Tennessee in 1997. The Titans get their guy. In other NFL news, yesterday the Dolphins and former Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley agreed to terms on a 5-year deal to become the Dolphins' next head coach. And in college, the Indiana Hoosiers beat the Miami Hurricanes 27-21 to win their first national championship in football in program history. Hoosier quarterback Fernando Mendoza threw for 186 yards and a 12-yard rushing touchdown with 9 minutes to play. That became the difference. Quarterback Carson Beck threw for 232 yards and a touchdown. Also an interception by Hoosier defensive back Jamari Sharp in the final seconds that sealed the win for Indiana and a perfect 16-0 record. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show starting now on 104.5 The Zone. Welcome in to Ramon and Will. 104.5 The Zone TV, where you can stream us, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. There is never a line to get your comments and thoughts in there. Wherever you are joining us this morning, whether it's there, the 104.5 The Zone app, or your FM radio dial, we are glad you decided to make us a part of your morning. 615-737-1045 is how you make your voice heard. With Ramon Foster and Justin Hawkins, I'm Will Bowling. Benjamin Solak of ESPN tweeted last night about how good of a hire this is for the Titans, bringing in Robert Saleh as the head coach of the team. He says back when Saleh was fired, this was tweeted in October of 2024. Since the 2021 season, Robert Saleh's first in New York, the Jets defense, until he got fired, was number 1 in the NFL in points per drive allowed, number 1 in EPA per play, 3rd in success rate, despite playing the 4th most snaps over that stretch. Ramon, how fixable is the Titans defense right away under Robert Saleh's leadership? Can we see an immediate impact from one of the game's great defensive minds to make this defense one that is feared and one that is good right away?
No doubt about it. The bones of it is there. Cedric Gray, up the middle, he's your version that you want of Fred Warner. I'm not comparing. Cody Barton playing his role in this. You look at the young secondary that they got, the ability to grow and be instructed on what to do. And I don't say any of these things to minimize the job that Denard Wilson did at all. But you look at a guy like him that's known around the league, Robert Saleh that is, as facilitating good defenses. Yes, I think that's the expectation for this team in general. In my past, when I played against the Titans, defense in general, that was the calling card to me. You knew it was going to be hell to pay on that day, right? And I think with Robert Saleh at hand, this to me goes to, guys have reputations the way Dick LeBeau did. You knew what you were going to get yourself into. I think that is the expectation for those guys. I think it likes a fire in the dudes that need to have a fire lit, i.e. T'Vondre Sweat, right? This to him is a big pivot moment because the coming in crappy or ill prepared won't fly with a guy like him because he'll go find another one, the one that he likes. So yes, Will, I do think given the persons, the bodies to do it, absolutely. His method is proven. That's why I think he wants to call players here is to say, I know I can work this. Mm-hmm. I just need to support it. You guys go get the guy I need on the offensive side of the ball.
So in year 1 in New York, Robert Saleh's defense statistically was not good. 32nd in points allowed, 32nd in yards allowed. Both last in the NFL. They jumped to year 2 to being 4th best in points allowed and yards allowed in just one offseason. Yeah. So there certainly is the capability for a quick turnaround. Obviously, it's hard to project what the Titans will be this year without knowing who's on the team. They've got a lot of cap space. They've got a lot of draft capital. They've got guys they can re-sign, guys they can choose to trade, like all these different things. So I'm hesitant to put any sort of number expectation on what they can be this year. All I will say is there will still need to be a little bit of patience for what Robert Saleh can do with this defense right away. Not to say there aren't good pieces there, but just it's the reality of how long this thing is going to take. What I like about Robert Saleh is his adaptability. And I go back to what Kyle Juszczyk told The Athletic and Mike Silver, who wrote a piece back in October, talking about the differences in Saleh's defense this time around versus when Saleh was originally Kyle Shanahan's defensive coordinator in San Francisco, his first time as a defensive play caller. Veteran fullback Kyle Juszczyk told The Athletic, "What I noticed during training camp is that, yes, Robert Saleh's back, but his defense couldn't be more different than when he was here before. It's evolved so much. It's not just rush 4 and play cover 3 behind it. He mixes up looks more, he disguises things, and he blitzes more. And it's totally working." That kind of scheme adaptability, Ramon, is so critical when you are any sort of play caller on defense. And I think that is the thing that impresses me the most, maybe in his whole resume, is what he was able to do with a San Francisco 49ers defense that lost Charvarius Ward, Talanoa Hufanga, and Dre Greenlaw before the season and lost Nick Bosa and Fred Warner during the season. Still the 13th ranked scoring defense in the NFL this past year.
And not just that, continually just looking at the stats that they, giving up. The passing game, of course, is something that has to be shored up. They rank 25th in yards given up and 21st in touchdowns. So, of course, secondary, I think, is going to be at the front of his mind, which is why he went after a guy like Sauce Gardner while he was in New York. That's probably, one of those dead spots when it comes down to his defense. Yeah, front seven's going to get you work, but the back end is something he probably has to develop a little bit more. But when you look at the calling card of being able to stop people, the rushing touchdowns, low as far as giving up. They were 8th in the league on that. Rushing yards, they were 11th. And think about the division that they were playing in. Rams, who like to run the football. Seattle, they like to run the football. What is the Arizona Cardinals? I would think they like to run the football too. But if you can control the ground game, shoring up the back end of your defense is always a challenge for almost any coach moving forward, too. And I'd expect, we speak about the Titans draft picks coming into it. Cornerback is one of those things. I'm not sure if there's a bona fide top, what are the Titans, 4th overall pick at this point? If you're picking 4th at cornerback, or do you go wide receiver? I do think moving forward, too. I think it was, I forget who was it called earlier that mentioned how his relationship with Cam. We've mentioned that in general, too. But how does the draft strategy change now with Robert Saleh? We've been, at least I'll speak for myself, wide receiver, offense for Cam. If you can set yourself up well to get more possessions because your defense is doing well, Cam's ability to stay on the field is what you bank on. You buy yourself time. You control the clock. You do those types of things. So I thought that was a good point made by a caller earlier. I forget who it was, man. My bad on that one. But
yeah, we've had a lot of them.
Yeah, we have. That is a point to be made. If my defense can get the offense the ball back, I got more shots and opportunities to it. And I think that's where Cam would thrive at.
Let's go back to the phones. You can hop in. Got a couple lines open. 615-737-1045. Adrian is in Tullahoma. What's up, Adrian?
Hey, guys, remember I called you guys last Thursday. It said Salah was our man, but I was calling because I think the perfect scenario here is if he could bring in Matt Nagy or Brian Daboll as offensive coordinator, bring in Raheem Morris as his defensive coordinator, hang on to Denard Wilson, keep him back as the secondary coordinator for consistency, surround himself with as many former head coaches as possible to show all the leadership, because with us having literally the youngest roster in the NFL, the more experience in coaching he can surround himself with, the better. And plus, I think it'll show how confident he is in himself by surrounding himself with guys who could literally take his place.
Yep, no doubt.
Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate the call.
And with a 5-year deal, he ain't got to worry about that. The ego's out the window. He's securing his job.
Yeah, the Matt Nagy thing is interesting to me, Ramon. Are you interested in him as an offensive coordinator? It looks like Eric Bieniemy's going back to Kansas City.
He is, so he's out of a job currently. I don't know it was a play caller just yet. Again, was he calling the plays in that Mitch Trubisky year?
Yeah.
He was. Okay.
Well, he gave up play calling twice in Chicago as the head coach.
My intel as far as Matt Nagy goes is you want him on your staff. He's a leader type. As far as Kansas City went, the players loved him.
Can he call plays, though?
That's the thing. He hasn't called plays.
He has. He has called plays in Chicago.
But like yes, recently, I mean that. As
He's
far
not
as
in
Kansas City.
No.
Well, I think the judgment on Nagy was what Kansas City is currently, and that's middle, back end of the road offensively for that offense, right? But a lot of people will tell you that are in the know about what's happened in Kansas City, that is Andy Reid calling games.
Yeah,
do I want him as a play
every now
caller?
and then, but right.
Do I want him as a play caller? I think there's a better option if you can go get Mike McDaniel. I do think that because of the style that Cam is playing, but facilitating a staff and having a head coach type on your roster too, I think Matt Nagy fits the bill. Now, how does he and Robert Saleh pair together? How does Cam communicate with him also? And how much has his own personal offense changed? That to me are questions we don't know, and it's hard for me to say yes to him being an OC when he initially said he didn't want to call plays. Like he kind of removed himself from those duties.
That's the challenge, is that when a lot of your tour about wanting to be a head coach again came with the caveat that you weren't going to call plays. All of a sudden it's like, well, then if you're the head coach of the offense here, because that's essentially what the Titans will be hiring, you're looking for a head coach of the offense, then what, why should we trust you to, not trust you? I mean, I think there's trust there, but what makes you the best fit among all the possibilities to be the offensive play caller for Cam Ward? I don't know. Let's talk about that more next. 615-737-1045, because I've dug a little bit into Robert Saleh's network. I'll tell you why Mike McDaniel is mentioned so much. I'm going to give you a couple of other names as well, including one play caller who was recently in the AFC South that you may have forgotten about, that I'm not sure Robert Saleh has forgotten about. We'll talk about that next. Relocating and moving around Nashville is stressful. It is a process, and you already are thinking about that for sale sign that maybe has been collecting dust around your neighborhood. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Bernie Gallerani gives you a guarantee. He brings you peace of mind. He gives you the 30-day guarantee. Bernie Gallerani of Bernie Gallerani Real Estate guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. There's no risk to you. What are you waiting for? He'll let you out of the contract at any time. Bernie is the real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee. Get the power of Bernie Gallerani Real Estate working for you. You can call him directly at 615-428-2644. The second I had my first introduction to Bernie, I could quickly understand his passion for helping people in Middle Tennessee. He's not that big national agent that doesn't know you, the area, your goals. He knows Nashville. He knows Middle Tennessee. He's going to be able to help you through this process, and it's going to be fast and as easy as possible. I can't recommend him enough. The only real estate agent in Nashville recommended by Barbara Corcoran of Shark Tank as well. Call Bernie Gallerani on his personal cell phone, 615-428-2644, or head online to BernieGallerani.com. Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home, paid off all their credit cards and some car loans, and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you, but don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous rapid equity loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 615-499-5780 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. So Robert Saleh is the pick, is the new head coach, and we've got a lot of time still for you to react. On the phone line, 615-737-1045, in the F&M Bank chat, on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Ramon, there are a lot of names out there that could be on the offensive staff for the Tennessee Titans and Robert Saleh. Connor Hughes writes on Twitter, SNY Jets and Giants reporter, at Connor_J_Hughes. There was talk early on that Robert Saleh, had he gotten another head coaching opportunity, wanted to take Mike McDaniel with him as offensive coordinator, I'm told. The two worked together in San Francisco. We'll see if that happens. That would do wonders for the Titans. If you brought in Mike McDaniel, Ramon, how good of a fit is his system? And how does he compare to other OC candidates for Robert Saleh? How do you think he could help Cam Ward?
Ambitious, that part of it. I think he's, for what it's worth, cool enough for the job too in Cam. He's been in the Miami culture, probably understands what Cam is as a player, although he's a Texan by birth. And I would say this too. The rolling out of the pocket, the moving of it, the run game that's also incorporated into it, and downfield throws, that's a part of it. I think with what Mike McDaniel has done with Tua Tagovailoa, I think it sets a precedent for what he's going to be as a head coach. If he can get what he got out of Tua, I think that plays into a big part when it comes down to what Cam Ward is capable of. Again, Tua's not a fast guy. I don't think Cam Ward is either. Tua's got a nice arm. Cam has one also. When you look at their ability to see down the field and find their guys, and here's the other part of it too, he was able to create an offense for Tua that allowed him to free up as a lefty to throw to open spots, barring his height, his inability to always want to run the ball. And as much as he tried to protect Tua in those moments, I think some of that was on Tua himself. Here's the other part, too, that you're going to have to, if you pursue Mike McDaniel, his need and want for big-time speed and skill is going to be something that you have to ask yourself, how will you accumulate that also as a Tennessee Titans team? I think speed has got to be a huge part of it, too, and I think this team is in a spot to where it's necessary for them to get speed moving forward.
So a couple of years ago, the first time Robert Saleh coached against Mike McDaniel in a Jets versus Dolphins game, Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniel compared their relationship and the challenge of playing each other to what it is like for Kyle Shanahan when he coaches against Sean McVay. Mike McDaniel and Robert Saleh are very close friends, and they first met when Saleh was an intern for the Houston Texans very early in his career. So he was an intern with the Texans in 2005 when he was 26 years old. This was 1 year removed from being a defensive assistant at Georgia, which is something that flies under the radar. Ramon, Robert Saleh would have been a Georgia assistant on the opposite sideline in Athens, coaching against you as an offensive lineman for the Tennessee Volunteers. So first of all,
we'll probably beat them.
I think you did, actually.
I'm just going to throw that out
2005?
Before Georgia became Georgia? Yeah, we was cooking then.
He was at Michigan State, Central Michigan, and Georgia in his college coaching career. Yeah, that's where he overlapped with Mike LaFleur.
Okay, gotcha.
As assistants in 2004. Mike McDaniel, to the Jets team website in this story, and I think just at a press conference, called Robert Saleh a squatter at the end of his time in Houston, because Robert Saleh showed up at new head coach Gary Kubiak's press conference and said, "I want to coach for you. I want a job here."
Wow.
It worked. Robert Saleh was a defensive quality control assistant for the Houston Texans from 2006 through 2010. Moved to defensive quality control from 2011 to 13 with the Seahawks. Linebackers coach for the Jags 2014 to 16. And then was elevated to defensive coordinator in San Francisco from 2017 to 2020, where he overlapped with Mike McDaniel for 4 years. Mike McDaniel was quoted as saying years ago about Robert Saleh, he did an excellent job of just forcing his hand, getting FaceTime with the head coach. He just sat in there all week. I think go on there on Tuesday. He just sat across from me awkwardly in this room. And he just waited there until like Friday when he barged in and told Kubiak, "Hey, I really want to work for you." There are a lot of those stopgaps in the beginning of Robert Saleh's career. Always a sponge, always unbelievably smart. That's Mike McDaniel in 2022, quoted as talking about Robert Saleh.
That's big time.
Two guys that are close friends, and I think someone who will certainly factor into this search. Question is, Ramon, what matters to Mike McDaniel? A good OC opportunity that might give you the chance to be a head coach a year from now if you crush it, with a really good friend in Robert Saleh and an organization that you interviewed with for the head coach job, or Philadelphia, or one of these Super Bowl contenders that, as an OC right away, you would have the chance to probably compete for a Super Bowl more quickly with.
How soon does he want to become a head coach again? That's the question. Like that's the number one thing you got to ask, I think, Mike McDaniel coming into this situation, because if he takes 2 years as an OC, that gets Cam to going into his 5th year, option year, almost at a point. You get an opportunity to establish him. I personally thought, and this was my conversation about what I felt about Mike McDaniel, I thought he's probably 3 to maybe 4 years away from another head coaching job just to be better at it. Now, that's hard to say because Robert Saleh has taken 1 year and gotten back on the horse with that one. So hard conversations have to be had if you are interviewing him for this OC job.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be 3-4 years for Mike McDaniel,
and
honestly.
That's my point. That's what I said. I think with all the things that's happened in Miami for him, the way he's managed, I ain't going to say, managed the team, didn't get everything that he needed out of it, couldn't box Tua in. And here's the thing, Tua, I think, caused a lot of that himself. The concussions, how he hit the ground, how he put himself in harm's way and stuff like that. Like, bro, you got to figure this thing out. And he didn't. But I think the way he's viewed in my eyes, I thought he's 2 to 3 years away from being a head coach again.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see where he ends up going. I do think that there's been more interest in him right away than I originally expected.
It's mostly OC.
Yeah, it is. But Baltimore brought him in for a head coach interview.
Boy, that'll change the way
I think Vegas did as well, or is bringing him in as well.
Okay.
For a head coach interview. So he's making final rounds in person.
Good. For
head coach interviews. We had a tweet at us, and you can always chime in at Ramon and Will. Quentin writes in. Says, I wouldn't bring in Mike McDaniel only because he's not going to stay here long. He will get another head coaching job. You need someone here that will stay. You agree with that?
I do.
Really?
As my old head coach would say, can't live in your fears, though.
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
I do feel that way. I don't think he'll be ready, but I think he'll get the shot. Especially if he kills it with Cam.
Isn't it important, though, for Cam Ward's development to give him the best possible coach as soon as possible?
That's what I'm saying. You can't live in your fears.
Like, I think if Mike McDaniel doesn't end up coming here, you can look at that as the bright side of like, oh, okay, well, then maybe, it's best for Cam to have long-term development. Like, I can understand the argument, but to your point, that you can't live in that fear, and you have to give Cam Ward the best possible coach for as long as you can possibly have them here. And, if you can offer a competitive enough dollar amount to Mike McDaniel, does he become a Ben Johnson type that likes Cam, likes being here, and is paid handsomely enough to turn down mid to low-level head coaching opportunities and stick around maybe longer than expected? Like, you have a role you can play in that as well.
Yeah, you do.
In convincing him to stay.
The lesson I think that needs to be given here in Nashville, too, and I'm going to say it again until somebody hear me and live by this. Build a strong enough team. That's the answer. Like, that's the grace that Robert Saleh was given. And to be in San Francisco, to be quite honest with you, they did hit on some young talent. They had some good bones there as far as veteran players that were already there, but that defense got depleted. There's a lot of guys in other destinations right now that were on that San Francisco 49ers defense. Like, the biggest answer to the problems that we're discussing is a strong team.
Mm-hmm. Zach Lyons on Twitter says, best part of Saleh's hiring, discussions of Carnell Tate with the 4th overall pick are dead. We are on to Bain, Bailey, and Love Watch. Zach, buddy, it's January.
This is true.
I love you, Zach. What? It is January 20th, my brother in Christ.
It is.
I don't think any.
I said it earlier.
No draft conversations are dead on January 20th.
I said it
He's
earlier.
probably being sarcastic.
I do think the conversation may shift.
It may be, but again, like we
do.
It's like trying to talk about what grade you're getting on a test when you've only done about 10% of the test. Like
I'm getting
we got a long process to go to understand who they're going to draft. Plenty of time to talk about that. Let's go to Robin in Antioch. What's up, Robin?
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
I've been a long-time fan of the show, first-time caller.
Welcome.
Welcome in.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I'm happy for the Coach Saleh hiring. And so I thought about this. I did ask the gentleman before I got on,
Jayhawk.
did Saleh draft Breece Hall? And he said, yeah. And so I think about, Breece Hall's about to be a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a potential free agent for us. And also anybody that's played for Saleh for the Jets or the 49ers.
Agreed.
I'm going to be real with you, Rob. Everybody's an opportunity.
Thank you, Robin. It's a good call.
Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. Jawan Jennings, Breece Hall, Sauce Gardner.
Well, I don't know about Sauce Gardner.
I'm just going to throw it. Like, anybody. I'm dead serious. Anybody's a target at this point.
You know how I feel about Breece Hall.
Maybe even you.
If you've listened to
I ain't never heard you talk about it. Tell us how you feel about Breece Hall. No, I'm joking, but
I think you get more out of Cam Ward by doubling down on the run game and giving him the tools around him to quarterback proof the offense. And you can look at Cam Ward's development through the end of this season and see a 1-to-1 correlation with Cam Ward getting better and this run game getting better. When the Titans were unpredictable on third downs because they were more in 3rd and 2, 3 and 4, because they were running the ball well enough on 1st and 2nd down, all of a sudden you're unpredictable on 3rd down, and these defensive ends aren't, as Coach Max would say, in a wide 9 and just pinning their ears back and coming after you. They've got to stay in those lanes of the inside to respect the run game and what Tony Pollard was. And you're able to stay more committed to the run game on 3rd downs. I mean, Indiana, I know we haven't talked about the national championship game last night, but that was the blueprint of putting yourself in 3rd and manageable. That way you can still run on 3rd downs.
When they
it's the
had
best
problems,
example of it.
like Bain and them got back there. Reuben Bain and his crew got back there.
The way you neutralize a pass rush with a young quarterback in the NFL is by running the football effectively. And teams that aren't paying quarterbacks have the luxury of paying running backs. So I would love Breece Hall for the Titans. I know there are a lot of people, Zach included, who we just mentioned, who love Jeremiah Love, but I think you're in a position to use that on a more premium position, that pick, and go sign your running back.
Go get a running back.
Other names for OC. Ramon, I'm curious if Bobby Slowick gets a look here. Mentioned before the break, that was the name I was referring to that I think maybe people have forgotten about a little bit. How important is play calling experience for this offensive coordinator position? Is that a requirement for you of someone coming in?
It is.
It is for me too.
It is. There has to be a plan. That's my biggest thing. And not just the plan, but what's the adjustment coming out of halftime? I feel like the last 2 years we've asked the question, last 3 years, 4 years, what are the halftime adjustments? Why did it look different in the first half than it did in the second half? Like, why didn't you adjust sooner? Like, it's more, Will, than like a guy being able to call the plays. Like, it could be, I'm going to be real with you, it could be the nerd that Coach Saleh knows that he believes in. That's passing, filtering information to the actual play caller.
Who's called plays?
Who's called? Like, give it to him.
Yeah.
My issue in the last couple of years with this scheme has been, I feel like the Titans have been late to adjust. Is that you've watched it just as much as I have? You can't be late adjusting in game. Like, if there's a point in which you have to pivot,
sure.
Where's that guy at?
Well, and I think, too, the way this roster has looked over the past 2 years, they've not been deep enough, Ramon, to have a great plan B.
Yeah.
They had a pretty narrow pathway to winning games.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get down early. They had to be able to run the football. And those were must-haves. They couldn't adjust to being more of a 2-minute predictable passing offense. They struggled to do anything that was, going to get them back in a game they were down late in, aside from Amari DiMercato for the Arizona Cardinals fumbling on the 1 yard line and Tyler Lockett recovering a fumble in the end zone. Like, that was their big comeback this year. Not taking anything away from them. They made some big plays late, but they kind of had a couple bounces go their way in order to come back. Like, they had a very narrow pathway to being successful.
No, I agree.
For sure. So I think Bobby Slowick is certainly someone who's interesting. A defensive quality control coach with Robert Saleh. He was not only offensive coordinator for the Texans, he was actually a part of Robert Saleh's defensive staff in San Francisco as well, 2017 and 18 for what that's worth. 49ers assistant from 2019 to 22 on offense. He was the OC in 23 and 24 in Houston. Was let go coming into this season, replaced by Nick Caley. They overlapped for 4 seasons together, Bobby Slowick and Robert Saleh in San Francisco. In 2023, he led C.J. Stroud to his best season as a pro.
Yep, absolutely.
Bobby Slowick did.
Ain't been the same since.
That's aging pretty well now that we've seen another OC in charge of Houston, wouldn't you say?
Yes, absolutely. That point in general, you bring him in. CJ is, I feel like, taking a step back. That offense was cooking as much as it possibly could. Why or how they didn't agree with one another is premature. It's childish, to be quite honest with you at that point. You mean to tell me the best season that you had under an offensive coordinator, you choose to say, I don't want him? That was at least the conversation coming out of Houston when it came down to C.J. Stroud and his decision to go to his head coach and say, I want somebody else. I never understood that. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to go much further.
Okay. Brian Daboll, I think, is another option if he's not hired as the head coach in Buffalo. And again, we're going outside of the candidates of who Robert Saleh has worked with and looking at this and maybe considering people that were in the head coach process. I think the thing you look at with Daboll is, what does Robert Saleh know about scheming and coaching against him? As the head coach of the New York Giants from 2022 to 2025, as the Bills offensive coordinator from 2018 to 21, he would have schemed a lot of offenses against Robert Saleh in that NFC East. Interview for the head coach job, 2022 coach of the year, 2 top 3 scoring offenses in Buffalo. Was never better than 15th in scoring in his time in New York as head coach, but I think is someone who is certainly an option. I know Mike Herndon yesterday on Twitter mentioned Adam Stenavich. He is the Packers offensive coordinator, former assistant offensive line coach for the 49ers in 2017 and 18.
Be run heavy.
A little bit more of a question mark on play calling there because Matt LaFleur is the play caller. Ramon, they've got to get somebody who's called plays before. I think one of these options of former head coaches, proven OCs, I think is critical if Robert Saleh wants to call the plays on defense. And we know that is true, that he's going to call the plays on defense.
I don't fully agree with that one. Like, I do side with, I do in sense of having some understanding of, like, the reason I said don't fully, because there could be a guy that can grow with Saleh. It's the way I kind of view it.
I'm not willing to take that risk with Cam Ward's development right now.
Understood. I mean, Houston took it with Bobby Slowick.
They did.
I know Slowick comes with experience now.
Sure.
I mean, Mike McDaniel took it with Tua.
Sure.
Only reason I say this, like, I agree with you. A head coaching type would be awesome on the offensive side of the ball. I'm just looking at the candidates that will be available, and I'm looking at the tenure of it mattering some as far as how long you'll have them here before they get the knock on being a head coach. I'm with you. I'll take Mike McDaniel, Bobby Slowick, either one of them with play calling experience. But if we are trusting, or they're trusting in Robert Saleh to make the right hire, apparently that Shanahan trio, whatever they have offensively and defensively, they bring guys out of the woodworks. And I'm of the mindset that it'd be more advantageous to have a guy like that. Although, to your point, having a sure-handed play caller with experience and poise and management of an entire side of the ball makes sense so too. You're not wrong in it. I just look at it and say, well, what if there is a gem out there? Like, where do you go get Ben Johnson from? Right?
That's a good question. And maybe he's laid out that plan to ownership and to Borgonzi and Brinker and the front office, and they're on board. Clearly, he had a good answer for the question, how are you going to help Cam Ward? I do not think the Titans would have hired Robert Saleh if they didn't like what he answered, saying, here's my plan for helping Cam Ward be successful. His development's too important.
I think Mike McDaniel came at the top of that list.
I think he'd have to be.
He has to.
If you give me Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniel, we're talking about a hire that rivals what John Harbaugh would have been here.
2 for 1. Yep.
I think without a doubt. Even if Mike McDaniel's here for 1 or 2 years, you still get those years of development for Cam Ward.
Yeah.
You're talking about a situation that's right up there with Sean McDermott. And we've been consistent on this. This is not coping on the back end. We talked about it on the front end that if you put Robert Saleh with Mike McDaniel, that catapults right up there with the John Harbaugh sweepstakes. And we said that before John Harbaugh picked the Giants.
Yep.
Open for your thoughts. 615-737-1045. What do you like about Robert Saleh? Maybe what do you not like? We had some of those calls as well. Open for your reaction coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster from Medical House Calls, and I do mean that they will come to your house to medically assist you. Primary care, urgent care, IV therapy, medical weight loss included. MedicalHouseCalls.com is the website, man. They're available to you Monday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Same-day appointments are available, and they'll also have next day guarantee for you, man. So listen, here's the thing about it. You could call or text them, and one of their team members will assess what you need within minutes. They will come to wherever you are and handle whatever you need. They don't care if you just need an IV to bounce back from the weekend. They got that for you. Whether you're fighting the flu or 2 performance-enhancing cocktails, they got that for you. Feeling fatigue, persistent illness, or injuries, guess what? They got that for you. What I'm here to tell you is this. No matter what you need, they're there to take care of you, man. Your health is priceless. And at Medical House Calls, they offer you the primary care personalized for you. You can fill out the forms exactly as you need it in your home at your pace at the time that you want them, man. It's simply one of the best things ever. I've personally used them, and I stand by the work that they do. Website, medicalhousecalls.com, or you can call or text them at 615-838-2375.
Ramon and Will rolls on, wrapping up hour 3 this morning. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins, at Ramon and Will, where you can follow the show on Twitter. We'll get to the results of our Twitter poll at the top of the hour. Connor Orr, a few minutes ago on Twitter, Ramon, writes the following. A senior writer for Sports Illustrated covering the NFL, if you're unfamiliar with Connor's work. A note on Saleh and the Titans hire. I heard his OC plan, offensive coordinator plan, was incredibly detailed, comprehensive, and team-specific, which likely eased concern for Tennessee. There's a ton of moving parts when it comes to OC candidates this time of year, but he has a deeper well to access than most. I like the sound of that.
It's a connections league.
He is friends with the Shanahan, LaFleur, McVay tree. And anybody who's worked for Kyle Shanahan or Ramon is going to be a candidate for Robert Saleh.
Now, you just got to tell the Titans brass, now give me my money.
That's right.
Or give me some money.
That's absolutely right.
That's a good friend of mine, like I said, it covered the Jets play for him too. And he was texting me. It was like, the only reason I bring that up though is front office and team alignment. Legitimately, if they get that right, Will, and give Robert Saleh time, I mean, if his connections are that good and the coaches that he know can call it the way you think and his reputation follows him from San Francisco to here, what a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Let's go to DeMario in Nashville talking about Robert Saleh. 615-737-1045. What's up, DeMario?
Morning, DeMario.
What's going on?
Morning.
And I was just wanting to share. I was talking to my friend. I mentioned it in the YouTube chat a few times, but I went on and called in today about it. But me and my homeboy, he played for the Seahawks 10 years, and last year with the Raiders, but he's been with the 49ers under Saleh. They hired him to coach under Saleh the past 2 years, I guess, that Saleh been there. And we've been talking kind of throughout the year with different stuff. And one thing he told me last night, and I guess just so Titans fans, can understand, like, how good this hire is he literally said, like, man, I'm kind of sad that he's leaving. He's like, man, I love working under him, like learning under him and everything like that. Another thing that he told me, and to go back to something you talked about earlier, Will, about Saleh adjusting, back before the season started, my homeboy was saying that, like, it's like him and Saleh and Shanahan built, like, the defense that they was running this year. It's like they kind of sat down for a while. They kind of looked at the offenses, like what works, what don't work, like what stops this type of offense, just kind of looking at the lay of the land. He said, man, they kind of like they're building a defense or whatever. That's the adjustment that Juszczyk was talking about. And he said, man, they kind of installed it kind of late with the rest of them, the coaches. He was like, man, we kind of started learning it like close to training camp, it took them a while to kind of get all the details hashed out. And I think that's amazing, man. And then some other things that my friend shared with me, like with the Titans after we played them this year. I won't share all of it because there's some good and bad in there. But
we need to have a sit down, DeMario, because I'm going through this coaching staff trying to figure out which one of these is your homeboys. Keep going though. I'm listening. Is it KJ Wright?
I share. His name is KJ Wright. He played for the Seahawks when they won Super Bowl. Him and
nice.
You probably know him.
I just called it. Yeah, I said it's a KJ Wright. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's him. So yeah, man, But KJ worked out Femi at the recent Senior Bowl. He's really high on Femi. The thing he said about Femi is, like, he said Femi has the attitude to be great. Mm-hmm. And that's not him saying that he will be, because, of course, that comes down to coaching and scheme and Femi on his step. But he said he loves his attitude. He has the attitude to be great one day if he keeps developing. They like Cam. They like Cedric Gray. These are some names that he brought up after the game that they really like. But then one person on offense that, he brought up, he said, man, I really like Gunnar Ham, so, and I'm saying all these names because I'm sure these are the people that Robert Saleh knows as well, and he's seeing other pieces. So I'm excited about this move, man, but I'm going to hang up and listen to y'all and get ready for this newborn when she wake up in a minute.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, DeMario.
I love present fathers, okay, DeMario? Keep it going, man.
Fantastic.
Played against KJ. Right.
Good insight. I like
Sometimes.
It makes sense they'd like Gunnar Helm. Gunnar Helm had a really good game against the Niners.
He did.
Against that defense. He had a touchdown.
Did. Look at Mario. Appreciate that.
Insider.
Appreciate. I was scared. Look, I was over here working like, come on,
Power
man.
of the zone.
Keisha, if you listen, I need a new laptop. That's what I need, okay? Because mine is acting real slow right now. But yeah, KJ Wright, respectable guy, man. That's
Dominic
great intel.
is up next on the phones. What's up, Dominic?
What's up, Dominic?
Man, what's going on, fellas? Man, Happy New Year to y'all.
You too.
Happy New Year to you.
Cut off. Yeah, but to quote my man Big Perk, man, what the baby's going to do all this crying about being mad about getting Salah and whatnot. We just had an offensive coach. But let's do a defensive thing, a coach that'll hold people accountable, and let's, see what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if you look at it, Mike McDaniel out in Seattle, defensive coach coming from Baltimore, and see what they doing. It's about what he puts together, the team he puts together to help. Like, because at first, when we got the intern coach, when they fired Callahan, I actually wanted Bones Fossil to get a shot, just like John Harbaugh as a special teams coordinator. Give him a shot. He got so much, his father being, what's the name? I think he was a head coach or whatnot, but him being in it so long, shoot, he coached up an all-pro this year. And that was one of our spotlights of that was bad last year, that was great this year, which was our special teams. Like, why can't he get a shot? But that was just me being on the soapbox. Because, I'm all about giving people chances within that have given you positive results to show him that, he seems to, connect with the players. Just his special teams. So, that was just a shot. But other than that, man, people just need to do the Aaron Rodgers. Just relax.
There we go.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with Salah. I actually like it because I'm a defensive guy. Give me a Ravens team from 2001, and let's go. Give me a defense like that, and shit.
Whoa!
Oh, can't say that.
I'm sorry.
Come on, Dom.
We appreciate it,
What we
Dominic.
doing, Dom? You got comfortable.
You were doing so well.
You got comfortable. I could tell because he's sniffing his nose and it seemed like he leaned back a little bit more.
It happens. All good. All good.
We appreciate you calling in, Dom. Call back again.
We got it.
You ain't even got to apologize.
Titanomics in here to wrap up hour 3. What's up, Titanomics?
What's up, Titanomics?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Great hire. It tells that we prioritize the culture and physicality and being violent up front. I think they had like the least blitz rate out of any team this season. So they prioritize 4-man rush and speed. So this is good for Jeff. This is good for Sweat. And it's even more so. Sweat better be in there with Jeff working out like he requests.
Preach.
And then, but this is the biggest question is not like, can Salah coach? Because we know he can, and they want to play for him, but can we nail the offensive staff and the quarterback development around him? But my question is, what does success look like for year one for Salah?
It's a good question, Titanomics. And to be honest with you, Ramon, I can't answer it until I know who's on the team.
You know what he did, though? In year one with the Jets, he went from 3 wins to 7 the next year. Is that successful? Is it turning around? Did he double the wins? Yeah.
That was going from year 1 to year 2.
Year 1 to year 2.
Not year 0 to year 1.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. Who's on the team? Who's your OC? I appreciate the question, Titanomics, and I promise you we'll have plenty of time to answer it. But until I know who's on the staff and who's on the team, I don't feel like I can give you a very good answer on that yet.
I refuse to give an answer.
Sure.
I refuse to.
We got a comment on the F and Big Chat on Facebook Live. I think is a worthy question to answer, Ramon, when we come back. Kurt hit us up and said, how is going 20-36 and a blowout loss in the playoffs a good hire? Many of you think it's a great hire, ourselves included. I think we like the hire and like the Robert Saleh potential. Maybe you're jumping into this process and, all right, the Titans hired a coach. I'll tune back in. And you haven't been tuned in for this whole process. Let's go from the baseline level, just from the broad 300-foot view. Why is a coach that went 20-36 a good hire, whose last act in San Fran was getting blown out in the postseason? We'll lay that out for you coming up next.
9:03, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans have their new head coach as they are reportedly finalizing a deal to make 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh their next head coach on a 5-year deal. Saleh spent Monday with the Titans in their facility. The two sides impressed each other enough to move forward together, and now Saleh becomes the franchise's 7th head coach since moving to Tennessee in 1997. In other NFL news, former Giants head coach Brian Daboll is interviewing with the Eagles today for their open offensive coordinator position. And the Steelers are interviewing Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores for their vacant head coaching position. In college, Indiana Hoosiers beat the Miami Hurricanes last night 27-21 to win their first national championship in football in program history. Hoosier quarterback Fernando Mendoza threw for 186 yards passing and rushed for a 12-yard touchdown with 9 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. That became the difference. Hoosier defensive back Jamari Sharp intercepted Carson Beck in the final seconds for the game's only turnover, sealing the win for Indiana and a perfect 16-0 record. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once and you're home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Fourth and final hour underway on a Tuesday morning edition of Ramon and Will. The Tennessee Titans are reportedly signing and hiring defensive coordinator of the 49ers, Robert Saleh, to be the new head coach. We're just going to give the floor to you. Coming up here in 15 minutes, wide open for your thoughts. 615-737-1045, your questions for us and what we like, your comments, your feelings, whether positive or negative, we want them all.
Yeah, we do.
I want you to think about Robert Saleh. Albert Breer, 1 minute ago, Ramon, says that after Robert Saleh accepted the Titans job last night, they put him on FaceTime with Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons, both of whom made a fast impression on the new head coach. The plan for Ward was a big piece of his interview, according to NFL insider Albert Breer.
Smart man.
Interested to learn what that plan is?
This is what I would call him, man. Robert Saleh ain't no idiot. Like, I enjoy that snippet by Albert Breer, but here's my other side. That's what he's supposed to do.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know, like, totally. It's a great rah-rah feel moment for him. The fact that Cam, you know, is in on the idea that Robert Saleh can be his head coach is cool. My thing is always going to be this, like, once we get past the fluff and I got to finally curse you out 1 or 2 times, how you like me then? And I think that's not that you're asking Robert Saleh to be that.
Sure.
But how will y'all relationship build and grow and continually pull in the right direction? Because those two dudes right there are under contract and you want them to be continual foundational pieces. And here's the other part of it too. Robert Saleh need them more than they need him. He's a smart man by that one, man.
Remember how we all overreacted to Cam Ward saying he wanted to be in the interview process?
Where was he at last night?
Miami, to see his alma mater play in the national championship.
What a game, though. I know he on the bad end of that
Great
one.
game. And
game.
We will get time to talk about it. And, I mean, heck, we got a whole offseason to talk about it. And
no doubt.
Tennessee hiring Indiana strength coach and Arion Carter coming back and all those things. And our normal visit with Austin Price moves to tomorrow. But, yes, certainly an all Titans day today. So Kurt hit us up on Facebook Live, Ramon, and said, how is going 20-36 and a blowout loss in the playoffs a good hire? You like the Robert Saleh hire. Mm-hmm. I do as well. Why is this a good hire in your opinion for those who maybe are unfamiliar with Robert Saleh's resume and background?
I'm glad you bring it up because Gerald in our chat just said Ramon doesn't seem happy about this. Here's my thing. It ain't my prerogative to be happy about this. My prerogative is making sure, or after listening to this fan base so much and wanting a good product, that Robert Saleh is actually the good product. Here's who it benefits. It benefits those players first and foremost. It benefits Robert Saleh. It benefits the front office and the ownership. It benefits the city. It benefits everybody if Robert Saleh's a good head coach for this team. It corrects a lot of the wrongs that have been done here in years past, right? Of losing, of changing the culture, of losing the culture, if we can be quite honest with you. So me being excited about it is me watching the product of Robert Saleh coach this team and making it a formidable force when it comes down to how they look on Sundays. That, to me, is where you have to be. Like, this idea of you got to jump on the bandwagon because a new piece of coach coming to town is a different mindset to me. Here's why I am on why Robert Saleh, though, is in this position. It's the same reason that Vrabel, who went 3-18 or 6-18 in his last couple of years here, whatever his record was as a head coach, gets a new opportunity in New England and is now playing in the AFC Championship.
6-18 in his last 24 games as the Titans head coach.
The reason I'm excited about it is because you have a coach like Andy Reid, who coached in Philadelphia, that got pushed out, and now he turns into a Super Bowl coach, right? The NFL, and I say this continually, is full of second chances. The reason Robert Saleh is getting that because it's proof of concept of what he is as a coach by how his players talk about him, how other coaches speak of him, warrants an opportunity for a coach that's below 500 to be a head coach, understanding his mistakes. Why do you always clamor over somebody's cut player? It's because it's the idea that that guy might come in and help you because I might be the one to unlock your team. Like, it's that. We're putting a lot of stock into the record, and the record does speak for itself. But when you look at the misalignment that the New York Jets have had as an organization, you can put them in the same boat as Cleveland. You can put them in the same boat as what Jacksonville was, how weird we thought Liam Cohen as a head coach is, but look what happened. The father, the son, ooh, don't do that. Shaq Khan and his son aligned. I was going down the wrong path. Shaq Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, align themselves. They get in order. They find a coach that fits them, and look where they were in the playoffs this year. He finally figured out what looked like Trevor Lawrence. Coaches go through this. We are forgiving the players that get arrested if he can make plays for us. We're forgiving the coaches who's also been arrested and can coach up your team. Sean Payton is in a position where he got kicked out of New Orleans. Now look at them. Like, this is the NFL. So losing record or not, and those were probably bad examples because some of those dudes are Super Bowl winning coaches.
And a lot of those guys had a lot more success in their first stops, despite the fact that it got bad at the end, than what Robert Saleh did with the Jets.
Do we not believe in growth? That's the question I have.
With you. Here's why I like the Robert Saleh hire. Experience mixed with the kind of culture building I think the Titans need entering the 2026 season. In 2022, his defense ranked 4th in total yards allowed with the New York Jets in year 2. In 23, it improved to 3rd. In his 5 games in 2024 before he got fired, Robert Saleh's defense was 2nd in the NFL in total yards allowed. After he left, they were 18th for the rest of 2024. He has proven that he can master his side of the football and be a head coach at the same time. That's the difference between him and Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy had more success as head coach. A lot of that was because Vic Fangio was coaching his defense. The good things that Robert Saleh did as the head coach of the Jets, while sparse, were because of his leadership and his side of the football. Obviously, there are question marks about whether or not he can align quarterback and offensive coordinator and let that side work as well. He's got to answer for that, and he'll have that time, certainly. George Kittle said of Robert Saleh earlier this season, quote, "I think his understanding of offensive players and just kind of what we go through has opened up his understanding of being a football coach. I just think he's grown as a coach." Brock Purdy chimed in as well this past season. Quote, "Robert Saleh brings a different kind of energy to the building, and he's dialing it up. He's really, really smart, and it's helping us a lot." End quote. He made the most out of a bad situation with injured players on a defense that was already a lot younger this year than it was last year in San Francisco. He is a proven defensive play caller. I think he is a proven culture builder and high energy guy for young football players. And I think he deserves another shot. After Woody Johnson made him hire Nathaniel Hackett to pair up with Aaron Rodgers, he gets a chance to do it over again. And I think he is going to make the most of it. And I think he's going to do a good job here. So that's the baseline level. If you don't know Robert Saleh, if you're unfamiliar with his background, I think that's the baseline knowledge of why is this a good hire? The Jets are a mess. Not to say the Titans haven't been either the past couple of years, but I think he will have more alignment, Ramon, day one.
Have to.
With front office and staff and ownership than maybe he ever had in New York. I don't think that's too far out of line to make that assumption.
I love how we've almost transitioned the C word to alignment. Yes.
C word being
collaboration.
Collaboration, yes. I knew what it was.
You knew what it was.
Wide
but that is
open.
Crucial though, Will.
Yeah, right. And to your point, the trinity of NFL football: GM, head coach, quarterback.
Bro.
You feel like you have the human beings, you have the people that are going to be the Titans trinity.
Yeah.
So, see what they can do. Got the people in place. As we said yesterday, this is the beginning of the process, not the end.
No doubt about it.
Wide open for your phone calls. What do you like? What do you not like? Do you agree with us? Do you want to yell at us? We'll take it all. 615-737-1045. Wide open phones, open floor for you to react to the Titans hiring Robert Saleh. Coming up next. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Every January, we resolve to clean, right? Maybe we're thinking about ourselves. Maybe we're thinking about weight loss. We need to be thinking about cleaning our homes the same way we resolve to take care of our bodies and ourselves this time of year. Zero Res is going to help with that. Because during this time of cleaning and purging, Zero Res is going to keep things cleaner longer. Yeah, other carpet cleaners, they don't have the technology that Zero Res has. They're different. The science behind ZR Water's cleaning agents is much healthier than using soaps and detergents to clean. And if you just check out the Google reviews, you're going to see that clearly and loudly stated by their customers. Zero Res has a smarter and lasting clean. There's no harsh chemicals. There's no soap residue, faster dry times, and your home is going to stay cleaner longer. So get Zero Res out there to clean your home, clean the carpets, make sure everything is looking brand new. Call them at 615-535-9376 or book online at ZeroResNashville.com. That's Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. Call them 615-535-9376. And don't forget to ask about their air duct cleaning. Ramona Will continues in the fourth and final hour of your Tuesday morning show. Glad you're with us. Lots of your phone calls, lots of your comments in the F&M Bank chats. Maybe we could set a likes record for our live stream on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel.
We could.
Maybe you are there and watching. Maybe you're new to the show. We've had great numbers this morning over on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button for us if you don't mind while we're there. It'll take you 1 second. We're not going to email you. Not going to send you any texts. You're not signing up for anything.
Absolutely
We're not going to show up at your door unless you want us to.
No emails.
We have appearance fees for that. Just going to help you find us.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps us quite a bit. So we would love for you to do that for us if you don't.
I do have a question I'm thinking of.
I hopefully have an answer.
No, I don't know. Nobody has an answer for this.
Oh, okay. I don't have an answer. What's your question?
No, if you do have an answer for this, Will, we're going to the corner store and play the lotto, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll buy this radio station and name it whatever we want to.
Oh, okay.
Is that cool?
What's the question?
You got an answer. Okay. The question I have as intense of an interview process it was with Nagy.
Sure.
Is that a concession?
What do you mean concession?
Will he be on staff? Remember we talked about
Matt Nagy?
Yeah. Probably not is the answer. But it seems like there was a strong tug of war.
I will say there is an outside chance that Matt Nagy's on the staff. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think so either.
I'm not going to predict it because I do think Robert Saleh has a plan for Cam and for quarterback based on what's been reported.
He got his own group.
That Robert Saleh impressed the Titans with his plan to help Cam Ward. He's got a deep Rolodex of Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay assistants, Matt LaFleur assistants, because he's been friends with the LaFleur since literally 2004.
No doubt.
I could write a poem about it. Friends with LaFleur since 2004 was Robert Saleh.
I just looked at the Vrabel connection to New England and how Kraft wanted
Josh
McDaniels with an S to be on the staff.
I'm glad you made that distinction, by the way.
With an S.
Josh McDaniels has an S.
Yes.
Former Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel has no S.
No S.
It trips all of us up.
Same conference, same division.
When we would type Levis and it would autocorrect to Levi's.
I'm with just Mike. Nagy has to be livid right now. He used the P word. He's ticked off. Has to be.
Also, where else is he going to go? He just lost his job in Kansas City.
He did. But this is what Robert Saleh dealt with last year with the Jags.
Yeah. Worked out pretty well.
It did. It worked out. He ain't got no home right now.
I think Nagy's viewed in a little bit different light in the NFL than Saleh is. Just in your opinion, where else do you think he fits in the NFL?
No.
Exactly.
I don't want to say.
I feel like Saleh had his place on the defensive side of the ball.
I'm about to say nowhere.
Does Nagy have his place on the offensive side of the ball somewhere?
Well, I think there's clearly intent for Matt Nagy to be a head coach again. And the best way for him to do that is by getting out from under Andy Reid, going and being a play-calling offensive coordinator and proving that he can call plays to the level where you can elevate a young quarterback at another franchise. And you're just never going to get that chance with Andy Reid as head coach and offensive play caller.
Just looking at the dynamic, and I know we got calls and other discussions, but looking at the dynamic that was placed with Mike Borgonzi, who's the GM here, and Matt Nagy, it just seemed as if, like, that's his guy, and there was a strong pull and push for however this head coaching search ended at the end. So it's fascinating to see if they were good friends, Borgonzi and Nagy, like what that conversation was like. Gosh, I'd love to be on that three-way call.
Teron Davenport did tweet close to 1 a.m. Say, clarity, GM Mike Borgonzi ultimately made the decision to hire Robert Saleh. Monday's visit swayed the decision in Saleh's favor. Saleh impressed Borgonzi in the group enough to conclude he was the best candidate for the job. There you go.
He was the last interview. Remember we talked about that. Whoever's last is what you got to watch for.
Agreed.
And Saleh strategically said, watch this. I love it.
Got the last visit.
It's a dirty game. I always say this about the NFL.
To the phones, 615-737-1045. Peyton is in White House. Good morning, Peyton.
What's up, Peyton?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I don't really know how to feel. Like, I am excited, but I'm also not really, because I believe that the sample that the sample is big enough to say that failed head coaches in the league normally don't do good in their second stint. But my bigger issue is Adam Schefter he put out an article last night, and he essentially said that Mike Borgonzi was leaning heavily towards Jim Nagy, and the ownership pushed him to make Robert Saleh the head coach. And then after that, he edited the article and took that completely out. But good thing for screenshots because we can still see it. My question is, or my frustration is I feel like that Amy, the last time she was truly respected around the league was when she hired Mike Vrabel. I feel like this is kind of a damage control hire. And because we missed out on our first 2 or 3 candidates, that they kind of panicked and rushed to Robert Saleh. And I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Peyton. So, again, for clarity and for the full context of what was reported, following up on that blurb that was in the original ESPN article, that prompted Teron Davenport to tweet what he did at 12:43 a.m., working overtime overnight, saying, GM Mike Borgonzi did ultimately make the decision to hire Robert Saleh. Monday's visit swayed the decision in Saleh's favor. Saleh impressed Borgonzi and the group enough to conclude he was the best candidate for the job. What's your thoughts on all that, Ramon?
I don't know. I really have no comment on it. I don't, because I'm either a liar or I'm a, truth teller. I don't know which one it is in this situation. The article is out there. There are screenshots of the original. Then the article has a redacted part in it. How quick was Schefter to report that illegitimately? I don't know at this point.
And it was reporting from Adam Schefter and Teron Davenport at ESPN.com. And Teron, who's an outstanding reporter.
Absolutely.
Does a great job. And we only have positive things to say about him and the work that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give you the full clarity of what Peyton's calling about. Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, we're not in the room. I trust what's been reported by Teron and by Schefter. Like, I think that at this point, concerns about the attractiveness of this job are kind of on the back burner because Robert Saleh didn't have to be a head coach this time around. Mm-hmm. And we knew that in December before we even knew all the jobs that were going to be open. Robert Saleh, as Matt Nagy kind of went on his tour to say, hey, I want to be a head coach again. I'm ready for this. This is what I've learned. Robert Saleh kind of did a lot of the same things and talked to a lot of feature writers and talked to Mike Silver at The Athletic back in October, which I tweeted out earlier, and Nick Wagner of ESPN, who we're hoping to get on the show later.
Yeah.
About, hey, I'd like to be a head coach. I'm not desperate, though, to be a head coach. If that was the case, that this was a totally unattractive job, I don't think Robert Saleh would have taken it.
No doubt.
So clearly there's something he believes in here in this organization and in this team and ownership and front office and all of it. Say, no, yeah, I'm signing up for that. And so I don't really have that concern. And honestly, Ramon, I don't really care who made the decision. This is why you have people in the room, and it's not just a one-on-one interview. Like, you always have other people on your staff to be honest with you and talk to you. And maybe that, I just don't know. Like, I don't like dealing in the hypotheticals and this stuff. Like, this is why you have a committee to come to a conclusion together, because otherwise it would have just been Mike Borgonzi one-on-one if it was only his call. But I don't think anyone's really hired with just one person here in final interviews.
And here's the other part, though, too. This is the Adams business also. If she does get last say-so in these type of situations, who's going to push back in these moments if this is how she feels? Like, that's the other part. You do what you want when it's your thing. And as I said, more than anything, like, this isn't a losing business. It'll just be another one. But I think this is the right hire, and I think this is the hire that they wanted, barring the fan base. As I said before, I think it was Peyton that called in too. If that is the truth, Peyton, how either way those articles were put out, you have one of the most, I guess, influential fan bases, I think, in all of sports, if that is the truth.
Teron actually just put out another follow-up to this and said, for clarity, this decision was Mike Borgonzi's. Saleh's visit wowed the group led by Borgonzi enough to sway the decision in Saleh's favor. The group led by Borgonzi decided Saleh was the best candidate. Poor wording initially on my part, Teron says on Twitter. There you go.
There it is.
So, Teron's the best. Does a great job.
Absolutely.
And I trust him as a source on that in his reporting.
Yeah.
Let's go to Aaron in Bowling Green up next. Good morning, Aaron.
Hey, good morning. Just want to say, just excited for the hire out of everybody left. Obviously wanted Harbaugh, but he reminds me of the way he carries himself and his competitiveness. Reminds me of Bravel when he first come in. So I'm going to say that, and bringing my 14-year-old for her birthday to the Preds game tonight. So it's going to be a good day, y'all. Just want to hang up and listen.
What's her name, Aaron?
Aislinn.
Aislinn? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Hopefully I introduce Salah tonight then at the game. I think that'd be appropriate.
Appreciate the call. That'd be a quick turnaround.
His first public appearance. Why not? Put him in a booth somewhere. Hey.
Let's go to Dom in the Boroughs, 615-737-1045. Hey, Dom.
What's up, Dom?
Hey there. Good morning to you both. Think it's a good day. Very excited for the hire. One of the previous callers had mentioned that he didn't think that going with retreads or second-time, third-time hires was a good move, and that the data doesn't say that it bears out. But that's actually not true. In the last 27 years, if you look at the last 27 years, I think 18 or 19 of the last Super Bowl winning head coaches were one on their second or third job. So it depends on whether or not you want to include Bruce Arians, because I know he retired and came back. But that's
true too.
Dick Vermeil, Tony Dungy, Pete Carroll, Shanahan, Big Shanahan,
Belichick,
Coughlin, Andy Reid, and of course Bill Belichick. So, and in this year, you're looking in the AFC, Sean Payton or Vrabel might end up winning a Super Bowl in their second stint. So I don't get the negativity around hiring a guy that's got experience as a head coach already. And that's it. I'll hang up, and you guys have a great day.
I told Will and
Break,
Dom, if you still listen, I said, people will forgive you about anything except for their sports teams. People are very, whatever you believe. No, it's good. People are very Christ-like until it comes to you forgiving their football teams for losing. They have no room for that, man.
Yeah, I think there's certainly value in doing the job before and learning from it. What didn't work, and that's life.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
We don't have to get into a larger philosophical discussion. It's just, we all have things that we did in our jobs and learn from, do it differently the next time. One of those things that Robert Saleh is reportedly going to do differently this time is call plays on defense. We mentioned that really early this morning. If you were not awake yet, Mike Garafolo did tweet that out last night, said, expect new Titans head coach Robert Saleh to call defensive plays this time around. Mentioned this on NFL Game Day morning the other day, that Saleh felt not calling plays as Jets coach disconnected him from the game too much. Came to the realization he'd do it differently next time.
Seem to have been handcuffed, man, in New York. I told you, talking to my sources up there, it's just like it was a matter of alignment and power. That's what it usually boils down in these situations. So I'm interested publicly how this will unfold with Robert Saleh, Mike Berganzi, and just his tenure that he has here in Nashville, man. So that I would think, Will, if this is you in his spot, you got to adamantly lay down what you're looking for and how you want to go about it if you Robert Saleh this time. And I think he did according to the way they're reporting the interview went.
Bam is up next. Congratulations, Bam. Good morning.
My people.
How we doing?
Good morning.
We're doing the stress level is down, baby. The vibes are up, and we're feeling pretty good this morning. I feel like Ric Flair. Woo! Yeah. Hey, look, man. Now, this is Ramon. Hey, Ramon, thank you for allowing us to, have our moment. I went down there to Essential Saints. I went down there yesterday.
No,
I
you
was
did.
Yes, I really. You thought man, go look on my Twitter.
Oh, you did.
Oh, okay.
Bab. You ain't go down there. You don't know them people like that, man. You don't know them people like that, Bab.
Hey, look, I know him well enough to see Nagy ain't in there today. That's all I'm saying. Yo, all jokes aside, I'm happy about it. I feel like it's a new day with us. If we can knock this OC thing out the park, I'm still for drafting a wide receiver, but I understand that may not necessarily go that way. I'm cool with Bain either which way it go, or we'll see, how Berganzi, plays his cards. But all in all, I feel like this is going to be the turnaround that we need. I feel like Saleh's attitude is going to get us back to the big boy attitude. We don't want to play them 4 quarters attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like the attitude that Mike Vrabel brought to the team is going to come back there. Now, I'm really interested to see how Cohen and Saleh go. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting rival now because you can tell they don't like each other for real. I'm with it. I'm going to Jacksonville just to talk my stuff. I'm with it.
Bam, can I just ask something of y'all, man, moving forward? You can stay online.
Sure, buddy.
Y'all got to let your boo thing go. Because Jeff Fisher, what? Jeff Fisher had a monstrous defense and personality down here too, for a longer time, and got you to a Super Bowl. Also, you know, like it feels like you, like this fan base is like overlooking what Saleh is because you think he's gonna be Vrabel. If that makes sense to you.
No, I'm not saying he's Vrabel. What I'm saying, the attitude.
Okay.
You can never take away Vrabel's attitude and how the Titans.
But Jeff had it too, though.
No, Jeff wasn't there. Jeff was like
playing against them teams. I felt that way.
I mean, but that was a different era of football. To me, Jeff Fisher was like Mr. Feeney off of Boy Meets World.
Tell that to my body.
Yeah, like Vrabel was like, like he's like Stone Cold, bro. Like you knew them boys was coming. Like the attitude that they had was different. I'm not saying he should coach like him or nothing like that because he's his own person. But it's the attitude that the team carry with that.
I feel you, man. No doubt. And I'm just messing with you, but it could be the Saleh era is the way I kind of, because he brings, to your point, Bam, the same energy and attitude about how he want to do this job. So I respect that.
Yeah. Now I can go to travel to all my games and be happy this year.
Make sure you have your medical card on you.
Everywhere I go, I have it with me, my brother. Do not worry about it.
We appreciate you, Bam. Thanks for calling in as always. All right.
He got his lap, baby. He got his victory lap, baby. I love it.
I do love what Josh sent us on Twitter at JBell1129 tweets us this morning and says, as far as angry fans, we were the same people yelling, let Rand cook and buying Mayo cologne. We don't know anything. Trust the process.
I know somebody bought 2 bottles.
I mean, Josh, you're not wrong, man. And we were the same ones that thought Brian Callahan was a great hire and
he was
Will Levis was going to be great after his Falcons debut and the Oilers jerseys. And, at the end of the day, we really don't know. We're just all on a floating rock talking about football. We're just calling it the way we see it. So
how fast is the earth going?
We'll see. I don't know. I went to school in journalism. I didn't do a real school.
Save that, J.O.
Yeah, well, it's true.
I'm with you. I went from
played a lot of video games and
went for sociology and football,
there
baby.
You go. Between you and I together, we earned that degree. We earned a degree, maybe not 2. I'm just kidding. I won't take anything away from you. You were working hard as a student athlete. I was hardly working. Anyway.
I love it, man. Who was it that left that comment, though?
Josh. JBEL1129.
Josh ain't lying.
I think it's good perspective, right? Like this morning, you can feel one type of way about the hire. You can like it. You can not like it. You're obviously free to make your own judgments, and we are as well. But I do think patience and benefit of the doubt is important. If you wanted Matt Nagy, like the caller did earlier, if you wanted them to wait for Sean McDermott, like we wanted yesterday, we don't know all the facts on whether or not he was even interested. Like we just don't know. It's like evaluating a draft class. Ask me in 2 years how good the hire is, and I'll have an answer for you.
Who bought the Mayo cologne? I need to know who you people
Bert
are.
did, but maybe Bert needs to be
tweet at me your bottles.
Needs to be using that right. But Bert is out, so
he is.
Maybe he's clutching his Mayo bottles at home. Yeah. Final call for phone calls, 615-737-1045 as we wrap up the show next. Ramona will wrapping up the show on 104.5 The Zone. Tons of Titans discussion coming your way here this morning as we continue to cover the Robert Saleh hiring by the Tennessee Titans. Buck Rising has you covered up next. Cover 2 with Blaine and Zach and 3HL. Joe is in Goodlettsville up next. What's up, Joe?
Morning, Joe.
Hey, what up, guys? Hey, this is just a observation with a change of leadership, but from being the pro that you were, Ramon, down to the Joe that you are there, Mr. Co-host, I just wondering if the mentality of being or playing the game and making a tougher decisions as to the player personnel is an indication of how the players will respect the new coach coming in. If you know what I'm talking about. Granted, you can win. Winning is everything. Are you just a regular book guy who knows how to win, or do you actually get out there and knock heads and know what it takes to go that extra mile? And that's basically what it's all about, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you.
No doubt. Joe. That's a fair question. Matter of fact, Will's not a Joe. He's an SEC athlete, by the way.
That's
So
okay.
he's somebody.
I'm
He's
a Will.
somebody out here. He's just Will.
My experience is nothing compared to yours talking
But
football.
you understand coaching, though. I think the point that he's making, what about the guy that's just, a rah-rah guy, not a rah-rah guy, but just an X's and O's guy versus somebody in the trenches like Vrabel? Here's what I would tell you. There's 2 types of coaches, I feel like, possibly 3 types. You have your go-at-you every single day type coach that will get physical, show you that he's a part of the game, and that can work. And sometimes it's just you making it about yourself. And then there's the coaches, which I've heard like Bill Belichick was a turn the players against the coaches to unite the players, to make them want to prove you wrong type of guys. I've heard that method be used before. I've also heard, the camaraderie player-coach version, like, hey, he can relate to the coaches. I felt like Coach Tomlin was a little bit of Belichick and a little bit of the camaraderie type, too, to where, hey, I'm going to beat you down, but I'm also love on you, too. What players need, Joe, from Goodlettsville, is this. They need truth. They need transparency. They don't need any bull crap when it comes down to you asking them to do something, telling them to do something, and you believing in it also. Don't just send your players on dummy missions just because you think it's going to work. Like, no. Do you actually know this is good for me, for us? And also, how do you take my opinions? That's been one of the biggest things that I've been, just standing on. Like transparency. Are you rolling in the same direction with me, or are you all for yourself? Because players might not graduate college, and you might think they're Neanderthals and not smart. But when it comes down to football culture, what I would tell most people that watch the game, guys aren't dumb.
Yeah. Listen, I've obviously never been a player in an NFL locker room and can't speak to how Robert Saleh's leadership style can relate to players. What I can give you is his players talking about it.
There we go.
George Kittle talking to the media earlier this season about Robert Saleh's value to the 49ers.
Robert Saleh is the best free agent signing that we possibly got. The juice that he brings every single day, how smart he is, the way that he game plans, how he sets guys up for success, puts guys in positions to succeed, how he calls the blitzes on the right time. Like, he's just such a good coach. And I'm so happy that we got him back this year because he is a fire for our defense, and he will be a fire for us.
San Francisco 49ers tight end George Kittle speaking to the
That's
media.
right there. That's what you're looking for.
I think it's telling how many offensive players have gone to bat for him. We've quoted 3 different offensive starters for the San Francisco 49ers who have had glowing things to say about Robert Saleh. And player opinions on everything. I do think it's something. I think it's interesting. You heard George Kittle there. Brock Purdy was quoted this season as saying, Saleh brings a different kind of energy to the building. And he's dialing it up. He's really, really smart, and it's helping us a lot. Kyle Juszczyk said, what I noticed during training camp is that, yes, Robert Saleh's back, but his defense couldn't be more different than when he was here before. It's evolved so much. It's not just rush 4 and play cover 3 behind it. He mixes up looks more, he disguises things, and he blitzes more, and it's totally working. Sign me up.
You know what it sounds like? That Jets tenure was necessary for him.
Yeah, sure.
Getting outside of that system, running his own ship for a while, and clearly it benefited the San Francisco 49ers, namely, George Kittle and Juszczyk. That's the good part about him going to fail as a coach is now you know what failure looks and feel like.
Austin Price will join us tomorrow morning on the show. We'll nail down a time and tweet that out later tonight. Tennessee hiring now the highest paid strength coach in college football. And Derek Owings, the strength coach at Indiana, who Austin reports this morning is scheduled to fly from Miami to Tennessee today and have his first workout with the Vols tomorrow. Says he'll be there before lunchtime. Ramon, what impressed you the most about Indiana last night? 27-21 over Miami.
It's well coached. Well coached and physical.
They don't make a lot of mistakes, do they?
No.
It's incredible.
Absolutely not. And Fernando Mendoza, he might have some of the cringiest post-game interviews. That fake crying, he got to let go of that one. Like, brother, you either crying or you not.
You're going to Vegas now, man. You're going to have to change the behavior just a little bit. I mean that in a good way.
But he cold.
He is.
He cold, bro.
His touchdown run was one of the more iconic moments in a national championship game we've seen in some time.
I just love the fact that good coaching won. For I ain't anti-NIL. I love NIL.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I hope my boys get biggest NILs in the history of NIL game, okay? But to build a super team, I'm glad to see coaching took over last night.
Kurt Cignetti's Indiana, 27-2 over the last two seasons after they went 9-27 in the final three seasons before he was hired. They won a national title with 8 4- or 5-star players, while Miami had 45 who earned 4- or 5-star rankings out of high school. We may never see that happen again. And as much as the profile of Indiana football has been raised, we're never going to see it happen at Indiana again. Because now they're going to be able to go get 4- and 5-stars and do it a little bit differently. Credit to the Hoosiers. One of the best stories in the history of college football, what they've been able to do. Back at it tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Lots more to come on Robert Saleh, the Titans' new staff. We'll talk with Rhett Bryan. We'll talk with Austin Price. Talk with maybe some others. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
Yes, sir. But remember, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot, baby. It's Ramon Foster for